Okay, good afternoon. Today we'll be looking at the integumentary system, and the integumentary system consists of the skin and the accessory structures, the nails, hair, sweat, and oil glands. But today we'll be focusing on the layers of the skin, and let me give you a brief description of what the skin does. So basically, the skin acts as a barrier between the body and the outside environment. Its many functions include protection, temperature regulation, vitamin D production, sensation, and gland excretion. We'll be looking at each layer of the skin one by one, and we'll start with the outermost layer, the epidermis. So now the epidermis layer of the skin is made up of epithelial tissue. The epidermis is composed of 5 layers. The most superficial layer of the epidermis is the stratum corneum, as you can see right here. And the stratum corneum, being the most superficial layer, is also referred to as cornfield cells. It's the layer that prevents unwanted materials from entering the body. It also prevents excessive amounts of water from exiting the body. The other 4 layers of the epidermis are the stratum lucidum, the stratum granaculum, the stratum spinosum, and the stratum basale. Uh, the basal cell layer is the lowest part of the epidermis. Here, cells are constantly dividing, forming new cells and replacing the squamous cells that wear off the skin surface. So let's see here. So now the second layer of the skin is called the dermis. The dermis is made up of irregular connective tissue. The connective tissue in this layer consists or contains nerve endings, hair follicles, lymphatic vessels, sebaceous oil glands, and blood vessels. As you can see here, you see go a little closer, the veins and arteries. The dermis is divided into 2 regions, the papillary region and the reticular region. Due to the reticular layer of the skin of the dermis being primarily composed of collagen and elastic fibers, it is able to provide elasticity to the skin. The blood vessels located in the dermis help regulate body temperature. Now let's go to the next layer, which is the subcutaneous or hypodermis. The hypodermis consists of subcutaneous tissue, as we can see here, and the subcutaneous fatty tissue is made largely of fat, and it provides the main structural support for the skin. The hypodermis layer also helps with insulation and shock absorption. The hypodermis connects the dermis layer of the skin to your muscle and bones. And as we tend to get older, the hypodermis layer begins to decrease, and which is why our skin begins to sag.